Is the Rolex Oyster Perpetual 41 in the silver dial really worth getting today? We'll be taking a closer look at that in this video. Welcome back to Jazz Time. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, and trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so you can easily choose the best watch for yourself in the comfort of your own home. We offer the lowest prices anywhere online. If you'd like to know the price, simply click on the links in the description below. We greatly appreciate if you'd purchase your next watch from us at JazzTime.com. Today we'll be talking about, again, the Rolex Oyster Perpetual 41 oyster steel case with a silver index dial, oyster style bracelet, reference number 124300, one of the newer models released in 2020, the end of 2020, around September. All right, so this is one of the models that comes in a variety of colors. One of the newer models incorporating, say, a turquoise color, a coral red, as well as a very, very vibrant green, all sorts of colors, and you know, the standard black, and here the silver dial, one of the most basic colors. Now, is this really worth getting one of these years? Well, we'll be talking about that when we go over the case, the dial, bezel, crown, the functions, the movement, and the bracelet. And I'll be giving you my thoughts on all of that as to why this is actually not quite a sleeper. Well, it's more of a sleeper watch than you'd think. All right, so in case you didn't know, the name, the Oyster Perpetual 41, means that it is a 41 millimeter diameter case from finger to thumb. All right, it is made of the oyster steel material that is Rolex's own compound of steel and other materials to effectively make that super high polish that you can see along the case sides as well as on the front. It's more like a brushed satin finish, but that reflectivity, the way that it plays in the light, is all due to how Rolex creates this very strong yet elegant type of oyster steel. It also has the screw down case back and the twin lock double waterproofness of the crown there. All right, so it allows for a water resistance of up to 100 meters or 330 feet below sea level. All right, this bezel is the domed style bezel, so that it's made of oyster steel. Now you're here, you would get this to avoid, you know, potentially dinging it. And if you have, like, say, the fluted bezels, which are always made in gold, those are a lot more malleable, a lot easier to effectively damage, right? Whereas this domed bezel is more form-fitting. It fits the case and the profile much better. It slides much more easily under a suit cuff, and you know, honestly, it's much easier to deal with when it comes to potential damages, and it's much more resilient in that aspect. All right, the scratch-resistant sapphire is completely flat here. There's no date aperture on this dial, so no need for a Cyclops window, right, as you would find on, you know, any other sort of watch, say like Datejust or even Submariner. Okay, so scratch-resistant sapphire, no fear of suit threads potentially damaging the front of the watch and keeping it nice and clean and clear to read. All right, so when it comes to the functions here, very basic. All you need to do is unwind the crown to the first position. You can wind it from there, all right, and just pull out to the next position. Stops at seconds hand, and you can move the minute hand as needed. All right, and what makes all of this work, it is the newer movement made in-house by Rolex, a 3230 with a plus or minus 2 second per day time differential after casing. All right, so superior time performance there with the center hour, minute, and seconds hands with the stop seconds for a precise time setting. So very basic function here. No, not even a date, no calendar, no moon phase, no chronograph, nothing, none of all that faffing, just really basic, easy timekeeping. All right, the oscillator is a paramagnetic blue parachrome hairspring, as you cannot see through the case back, but it's there. All right, and it also has high performance Paraflex shock absorbers, which are made to effectively keep this watch, you know, keeping time, regardless of, you know, any sudden bumps or, you know, even getting close to magnets. It keeps it keeping time just fine. The winder inside has a bidirectional self-winding. It has a perpetual rotor that allows you to charge the watch on your wrist effectively up to 70 hours of a total power reserve. So that's close to almost 3 days almost 3 entire days. So you can actually place this down on a Friday evening, pick it back up on a Monday morning, ready to conduct business, no need to wind the watch. All right, now we're going to take a little closer look at this dial here. Now this is the silver dial with a sunray pattern, all right, with index hour marks. Now, no easy way to read this dial unless you already know the positions of all the numbers, or you can simply count 1, 2, 3, and so forth. But let's take a look at how this is assembled. If you look at the outer track with the minute and second track, you'll actually notice that there are little dots. These are actually yellow to sort of match like a yellowish gold sort of look, as you can see in the minute, hour, and seconds hands as they sweep across. Also, the settings, the applications for these hour marks have that sort of yellowy look to them. So looking at it in the light, it actually has sort of a yellowish, slight yellowish tint to it, giving it sort of that sense of royalty and, you know, a very subtle hint. And I actually very much like that, you know, very slight bit of elegance that they've added into this watch, because they could have just easily went with a white gold or even steel applications for those hour marks, but the way that they use the yellow in conjunction with that Rolex crown, very, very subtle. It makes it a very interesting and unique piece, even though, you know, this is sort of on the lower end, sort of on the wayside. You know, when you have things like Datejust and Submariners that, you know, are often like the flagships and the mainstays of this brand of Rolex in general, you have the Oyster Perpetual that sort of just holds the bottom line, keeps everything anchored. Now, if you'll note also, the way that the hour marks are set out, you also have double index markers for 3, 6, and 9 that create sort of like this sort of cross-shaped pattern. You get the lateral and the vertical symmetry weighing against the crown at the 6 and the 3 and 9 having the exact same hour marks. You don't have this sort of asymmetrical balance as you would have with, say, a Datejust, where you would have the date window, date aperture at the 3, with the 9 being, you know, needing to have some sort of balance against it. You don't have that with this watch because you don't need it. It's perfectly balanced. So a perfectly balanced watch. This looks very elegant. It has that sort of look to it that it just feels right. It looks right and it just feels right. All right. When it comes to the feeling right, it has the Oyster style links, all flat 3-piece links all the way across. They're more like singular pieces, but the Oyster steel, fully satin finish on the front as well as on the back, high polish along the sides for sort of a glowing look depending on how you look at it in the light. It also has the folding Oyster clasp with the Easy Link 5mm extension underneath. All the way to open this, obviously, as I just showed, you just simply lift the top. Very easy, no need for a safety clasp on this one. All right, and looking underneath, the Easy Link 5mm extension, this is the closed position. To open it, just simply pull the bracelet outward. And there you go, an extra 5mm just in case your wrist happens to swell for, you know, from heat or, you know, hydration. Staying hydrated is very important these days and every day. So you have that option there. All right, and while we have the bracelet open here, I can actually try it on and give you some more of my thoughts as to how it feels on the wrist. All right, now this is an Oyster Perpetual 41, so it's kind of large on my wrist, a 7.25 to 7.5 inch circumference wrist, but you know, I'm not getting a whole lot of framing with the bracelet. I'm getting all dial, and you know, that's actually not a bad thing, because having all dial means it's easier to read, easier to look at, and with those very slight white gold looking or yellow gold looking applications, it gives it a very subtle and, you know, a very elegant look that, you know, actually makes this overall, even with the silver dial, has a very neutral look. That means it goes with anything that you have, anything in your wardrobe, you can wear with this, or you can wear this with anything in your wardrobe. Either way, it's a very neutral overall tone to it that just fits with anything. And when it comes to fitting, if you have this sized to your wrist, a more snug fit would feel that, you know, there is still some weight closer to the case. And by the way, that case does sort of flare outward. the lugs don't actually taper downward as much, so you have more breathing room underneath your wrist. This is actually a good thing, as it, you have more breathing on your wrist, so that you're not sweating a waterfall from your wrist every single day. You can wear this very comfortably, and with that domed bezel, it slides very easily and very nicely under any suit cuff. Very thin form factor, very good overall look, and that slight downward curve of the lugs does keep it from potentially catching on anything, doorknobs and such. All right, the counterweight of this bracelet with the case isn't too great, but it's a very good weight distribution. You know that you're wearing an excellent timepiece on your wrist when you have this on. All right, and so when you're looking at it in general, again, a very neutral overall tone with subtle hints of warmth and a sort of sensibility of elegance that really, only really shines forth with that sort of silver dial that matches the oyster steel with those very, very subtle yellow gold applications. So, enough of what I think. What do you think about this watch? Do you think that this would really, hold a candle up to, just about any sort of Rolex within, say, the Datejust line? Or do you think this was kind of a flop in the Oyster Perpetual 41 line? Let us know down in the comments below. And, I honestly think this is kind of a sleeper watch when it comes to the overall tone, the overall look. So, leave your comments down below. Be sure to like that button, hit that like button, and subscribe. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification so you can be notified when we go live with another video. And as always, if you'd like to purchase this watch or any other watch, visit us at jazztime.com. And also, I almost forgot, the luminescence here is excellent with those double hash index marks. Very easy to read. Very, very good chroma-light display there. All right. And turning the lights back on, still very, very easy to read with those very thick index markers at the 3, 6, and 9 positions. Again, if you'd like to purchase this watch or any other watch, current model like this one or discontinued, let us know down below, and we'll see you in our online store at jazztime.com. Links in the description below.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to model as seen in video, click on it, and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazzTime, plus the brand, model, and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.